Hey friends! Please like and subscribe for more amazing stories! It all started when I was on the plane, staring out the window as it took off. My stomach was bothering me all day long, but I ignored it. I wasn't going to deal with a stomachache and let it ruin my dream vacation. After working so hard to save all my money from my job as a teacher, I finally had just enough money to cover the trip. Nothing could take that away from me. But to my surprise, everything got worse, and I was forced to deal with the pain in my stomach while surrounded by strangers. My name is Samantha, and this is the story of what made my vacation the most unforgettable event in my life. About a year before my trip, my boyfriend broke up with me. It was immediately after we graduated college.
I'm sorry, Samantha, but we need to break up. I got the job offer of a lifetime, and I need to move.
I don't understand. We've been dating for almost a year. I can't move with you?
No, it's too much. I need to be able to focus. This is the start of my career. Plus, you just accepted your new job.
Robert had a point. If he let me go with him, then I would have to quit my first teaching job. I was so excited to start it, but I would have given it up to be with him. I truly loved him. I can teach anywhere. Please, let's stay together. We can make it work.
I want to do this on my own and not be tied down. It's over, Samantha.
I can't believe you would do this. You're so selfish. I had a fear that Robert was using the job as an excuse to break up with me. Maybe he never loved me as much as I loved him. The possibility of that broke my heart and even took away all my excitement for my new job. Without Robert, I felt so alone. So I started going on dating apps and meeting up with guys who agreed to go out with me. I was ashamed to do so, but their company eased the loneliness for a little while. Nothing lasted with any of the men I dated, and I nearly gave up on dating altogether. But one guy named Devin was better than the rest.
I don't understand how you're single. You're the nicest girl I've ever met.
Really? Devin was even better than Robert. It was finally beginning to feel like being single paid off, and that Robert leaving me was the best thing that could have happened. But there was one problem. Even with how nice Devin was to me, he would not commit to being my boyfriend. He wanted all of the benefits of a relationship without actually making it official. It didn't matter how much I asked him. Can we please become official? I want to call you my boyfriend.
You're putting too much pressure on me. Everything is working perfectly. Why do we need a label?
He didn't understand why I wanted that label to show commitment. We were sleeping together, and I hated worrying that he might repeat what Robert did. Then, one day, my fears came true.
This isn't really working for me anymore. I've been seeing some other people, so I'm not sure you and I are compatible.
Seeing other people? Of course. He didn't want to commit because he wanted to have his cake and eat it too. I should have known better. I stopped talking to him and entirely gave up on relationships. I deleted all the dating apps and focused on teaching. My goal was to save up enough money to take myself on a dream vacation at the end of the school year. When summer break started, I would be on the first flight to Paris. As the months passed, I began to gain weight, but I knew it had to be from eating out all of the time. I was so busy with my work that it made for many late nights, and cooking for just one person was too expensive. and wasteful. There was even the stress of the breakups and long work hours that contributed to making me feel sick sometimes. I was so stressed that I was either starving or nauseous, and I even stopped getting my period. I would have been worried, but I wasn't dating anymore, so there was no way I could be pregnant. Finally, after all the months of dealing with challenging students, demanding parents, and non-stop grading, the school year ended. It was time for my annual break, and I was ready to jet off on my hard-earned trip to Paris.
Where to, miss?
To the airport. I'm off to Paris this afternoon. Even on my cab ride, my stomach was beginning to cramp and ache. But it was due to my nervous energy. As excited as I was for the trip, I couldn't help but be nervous.
You know it is the most romantic city in the world, right?
Of course, I knew that. I hoped to meet a romantic Frenchman who would finally treat me how I deserved. Once at the airport, the stomach cramps got worse. When I was on the plane, I thrashed in my seat. The woman next to me seemed concerned. "Ma'am, are you okay?" "I'm not so sure. This pain has been getting worse and worse." It was embarrassing to be in so much pain. I tried to hide it, but the cramping and pressure were too much, and I started yelling out in agony. I even grabbed the woman's arm. I couldn't help it. She stood up immediately and tried to get me help. "This woman needs some help. It's an emergency." The flight attendants ran over to me with concern on their faces as they asked me how far along I was. It hit me. I was pregnant all along, and all of my stress symptoms were from the baby. The last man I'd slept with was Devin, who had to be the father. I don't know how far along I am. I didn't even know I was pregnant. I'm not sure they believed me right away, but one of them cleared the row of seats in the plane and helped me deliver my son. A stranger on the plane handed her a blanket to wrap him in. I was in shock as I stared down at the baby. He was born over international waters since we were mid-flight. I thought I would return home with a new boyfriend, not a son. Once we landed in Paris, we went to the hospital, and I officially named my son Nico. Then, I called Devin to tell him the good news. This is going to sound crazy, but I got pregnant right before we broke up. I just had the baby, and he's perfect.
We never broke up because we were never officially together. It must be another man's child.
No, I swear. You were the only one I was with around that time.
Well, I got married a month ago, and my wife isn't going to be happy about this. Never contact me again.
Devin hung up on me. I couldn't believe he could be so selfish, and that he never committed to me. Yet, he got married. I figured I could move on without him. So, while in Paris, I took care of my newborn son by myself. It certainly wasn't what I envisioned my dream vacation to look like, but it worked out for the best. I even met a man who I remained friends with for 2 years, and then he moved to the United States for us to get married. He even legally adopted Nico since Devin never stepped up. All of the bad things that happened to me led me to exactly where I needed to be, and I wouldn't change a thing about it. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe.